At the Gulf of Mexico, an island at Mississippi is trending online. The island is managed by the U.S. National Park Service. It lies roughly 10 miles south of Ocean Springs and Pascagoula. The island, doesn't really have a lot of things going on there. The island doesn't have civilization except for locals that go there. It's just bare and it has just trees and it's in the middle of the ocean. The island is not big, really, but it's not small either. The island doesn't have any permanent structure, paved roads, commercial developments, nothing exists on the island. But yet still, some way, somehow, this island has found its way on the internet and everybody is talking about this island. So what island am I talking about? The name of this island is Horn Island. The only way to get to this island is through a boat. So locals usually have a private vessel that they use with their family and get to the boat. It's not like a tourist attraction where a lot of people can buy a ticket and then go to the island and then come back anytime they want to take pictures or whatsoever. It is only accessible when you have a private vessel and maybe you go in groups. So that is how locals get to this island. It's one of the popular destinations for fishermen, kayakers, and local boaters. So when people go visit this island, they usually just, jump at the shore because you don't even have a like a stop or an anchor, right? You have to just get off the boat and swim or walk through the ocean to get to the shore. People usually just go there and chill, have a good time with family, maybe a party or something, just along the coastline of the island. The Horn Island is one of the few barrier islands where primitive beach camping is allowed. Visitors come directly on the sand, stargaze far from the city-like population, and enjoy a scheduled coastal experience. The island serves as a natural sanctuary for military birds, osprey, pelicans, and sea turtles. And there is a lot of dolphins and rays around the coast areas, and also various species of fish. One lady wrote online about her experience on this island, and she said, quote, "We explored the sugar white sand dunes, pine flatwoods, and coastal marshes. We also searched for seashells, sea glass, and marine wildlife along the shoreline. It was such an awesome, quiet experience away from everything." So basically, you can call it a destination for the rich people, and that's okay, because it is. Interestingly, Walter Anglers Addison was known to go to this island for decades. It was said that he made frequent solitary rowboat trips to this island, spending weeks living under an overturned boat just to paint and document its wildlife and flora. So now historically, the Horn Island has its significance. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but the Horn Island, I told you guys, is not that big. And it's 13 miles long and less than a mile wide. And also, I did my research online and I found out that you can actually hire a water taxi to shuttle you to the island. So this is a free ad. If you want to go to the Horn Island and have a look at the place, you can do that by going to Biloxi, Ocean Springs, or Pascagoula. And there is no public ferries that access the Horn Island, so visitors have to bring their own boat. Now we have a background of where and what this Horn Island is, quote unquote. On the 4th of July, an 18-year-old young man was reported missing. He went out to this island with his friends, and when his friends got back from the island, he was not part of them. 2 days after, his body was found at the shoreline of the island. He was dead. He went on this island with his 3 friends. His friends didn't know what happened. They do not remember what exactly happened to him. They only remember he saying he wanted to talk to a girl, and then they left him on the island but took his phone along with them. They deleted their social media, refused to talk, and lawyered up. This is the case of Nolan Wells. We're going to cover today what happened to him, some of the things that are circulating online, some of the discoveries and the update that has popped up, and if justice will be served for his family as the investigation is still ongoing. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Vanessa and you are welcome to the channel. Let's get right into the video. So, Nolan Xavier Wells was an 18-year-old standout wide receiver at Mississippi Community College. His friends and his family described him as a teammate, a gentle leader, and a bright guy with a future. It is said that his warmth could light up the whole room. At Southwest Community College in Mississippi, Nolan was a football player, so he was very popular in school and most people knew him. Nolan had friends, but these three friends in particular were the ones that stood out in the story. Because Nolan, on the 4th of July, joined these three friends on a boat trip to the Horn Island. These three friends were part of the young athletes at the community college, so they were no strangers to Nolan. The purpose of this trip was to celebrate the holiday and enjoy the summer, but unfortunately, everything turned dark. So, after hours and hours of research, I found Nolan's three friends, but for legal reasons, I do not want to put it out there. But I'm gonna mention some friends of Nolan that they came out publicly to speak after they deleted their social media. Yeah, it's bizarre. After they deleted their social media, they came out for interviews. So I'm going to mention those friends because they are public and reserve the rest, right? So remember I told you that the Horn Island does not have any structures there. There's no hotels or homes whatsoever. That means that if you go to the Horn Island and it's late, you have to return back to the city. And that's exactly what happened. So hours later, when Nolan and his friends went to the island, the sun began to set over the Gulf. And then Nolan did not return home with them. What was supposed to be a day of celebration quickly turned into a mother's worst nightmare. When Nolan's parents were notified late at night that their son had just mysteriously vanished without a trace, they panicked. And this is what is making the whole internet go crazy. The three friends that Nolan visited the island with did not raise the alarm until it was almost too late. They claimed that when they were about to leave, Nolan was insisting that he wanted to talk to a girl. When the investigators reached out to this girl, when they found her and spoke with her, she said, "Oh yes," she did not deny. "Nolan was talking to me, but after we spoke briefly, he left to the boat." After Nolan's parents was notified for 2 grueling days, search parties involved the U.S. Coast Guard, National Park Service, local authorities, and Nolan's desperate father combed the waters around the Horn Island. And on the morning of 6 July, a Park Service ranger made a devastating recovery along the shoreline. Nolan's lifeless body was found. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Initial statement from the local authorities suggested that no immediate physical trauma and hinted at an accidental drowning. But this was a no-no for Nolan's family. The official narrative immediately raised an alarm bells for them. Nolan was an elite athlete in peak physical condition who knew how to swim, and the timeline surrounding his final hours was riddled with troubling gaps. Now, this is where the contradiction gets in here, and I'm gonna break down the timeline step by step for you. Before we go into the timeline, let me just take a few seconds to sway away from the main topic. When this news first came onto the internet, one man who felt like the death of an 18-year-old boy was funny created a joke mocking the fact that Nolan Wells do not know how to swim, insinuating that Nolan died out of drowning. Watch this video.
Yep, you got that right. Yeah, we did it. We sure did do it. What you think? What you think we do when we take y'all young men camping with us? We know them boys don't know how to swim. Yeah. You throw them in that water. We say, "Swim, boy, swim! Whoa, learn how to swim, boy! You can't do it! You can't do it, boy! Y'all ain't ever gonna learn how to swim!" Yeah, they did it. The boys did it. This is a damn tradition for us. Yeah, this is a tradition. We take you boys out in the woods, and we throw you in the swamp. We throw you in the creek. We throw you in the springs and rivers. Yeah, we throw you in the oceans. And y'all can't do a damn thing. Y'all be in there splashing and screaming, "I can't swim! I can't swim! Oh, hell no!" But you know, it ain't our fault. It ain't our fault you're fucking stupid. Grown man don't know how to swim. Yeah, what y'all think we do? You know, yeah, it's a big conspiracy. You know, every 6 months this skin tone, we all get together in our neighborhoods and we have like a little neighborhood meeting, and y'all ain't invited. We get together, we make plans, we talk about y'all, yeah, let's put this one in football, let's put this one in basketball. Yeah, let's encourage him to do that and this. Yeah. We bet on y'all. Man, we just play y'all like a damn game and y'all don't even know it. This is a tradition. It's been going on since the beginning of time. And y'all still in the dark. And I thought I'd go ahead and tell you, but even me telling you, it's still just gonna be conspiracy and nobody's gonna be able to prove it. But yeah, this happens all around the nation. All of us are involved, every single one of us.
The level of stupidity of this man is beyond me. You heard him. He said all of us, every single one of us is involved, insinuating that he knows for a fact that Nolan Wells' friends had something to do with his death. I don't see why he thought this is funny, because this is not the right joke to make in such a situation. Some people saw this video and immediately started going ballistic on him. Watch these reactions from other creators.
Here's my last little bit of information on Chud the Builder's little clone. Oh, Remington, are your evangelical Christian parents upset with you? Is that why you got kicked out the house? Have you been to Monty's liquor store over on Johns Avenue lately? Because I hear you like to be there ever often. Does that mean you have a drinking problem, Remington? Like to be at the Cash Bash? I was told you have many, a plethora of firearms. And that you are a danger to society. And just like Chud, apparently you have a thing for the chocolate women. We all know that Chud was the one doing the bending with the black women. Is that what you like to do too? I mean, we don't kink shame. I'm just saying. And wait a second. Is this your sister? It's always the ones with crazy stuff going on at home. It's like y'all can't stop bullying people from high school. You do it for the rest of your life. Wild.
Don't let these people gaslight you into believing that that's not how they think. He wasn't joking. His entire video is telling you, yeah, they do it. They sit around and talk about what they're going to do to your boys. The ones that are on the basketball team, the ones that are on the football team, the ones that are on the track team. They hold meetings, he said. They talk about the things they're going to do to your children or you. Still think your children are safe in those all-white schools? I know. Better education, right? You're teaching your children to be colorblind, but they're holding meetings. Are you? Are you sitting around talking about their community all day? I know the answer. No, you're not. You don't even think about these people, but they think about you.
Every 6 months, this skin tone, we all get together in our neighborhoods and we have a little neighborhood meeting. And y'all ain't invited.
And y'all ain't invited. Just remember that the next time you think you're going to let your children wander off by themselves in this community of people. Don't forget you were warned.
Hold on. It doesn't end there. They harassed the hell out of him to the point that his owner fired him out of his company. He then came on social media and started crying, saying that people do not understand satire and acting the victim. Watch this video.
No, low-key. And this is the defeated voice of a racist.
The hunt for me is over. They got me. They know my name, my address, everything. I knew it was going to happen. After the Walmart video went viral, all I got was just constant threats. Then the other video went viral, and then that was a definite, they would find out who I am. But there's that. Well, I guess, my followers out there that don't know my name is Remington. But yeah, I guess we'll see what the fuck happens. Still stand by everything I say. All I say is facts. And if you can't handle that, oh fucking well. And you people that are, my tone, this tone, wake the fuck up. Our nation is turning to total garbage because of disgusting, degenerate behavior that we allow and we condone and we praise and we lift up and protect it. So yeah, fuck you. And then the FBI reached out to somebody related to me. I don't know why they didn't reach out to me. I don't know why they haven't come talk to me. but they asked him if I had anything to do with the what's his fucking name, Nolan, the Nolan Wells situation, because of the video of me mocking these idiots, retardation, saying those boys did it. And I guess I said we did it, but clearly I meant we as in these people, this skin tone people. And yeah, like somebody in the comments said, clearly these morons do not understand satire. But yeah, there's that. And another thing I saw in the comments was talking about beating my ex-wife. So just to clear that up, that was 10, 11 years ago, and nobody got beat. It was not a beating. And actually, if you see the report, I've never even looked at the report, maybe since court and all that. I don't even know if I really even looked at it. But there was no beating. It was me snatching my own fucking keys out of her hand. And, I'm actually the one that called the police because, other things happened, not on my part. And I was absolutely fucking furious because I had kicked her out over things she did and fucked up shit that I'm not going to get into. It's been 10, 11 years, so I'm over it, and I don't hold anything against her. I don't have any grudges towards her. But yeah, I kicked her out of the house, and then one night I don't remember if the door was unlocked or she had another key or something, but she barged in through the front door, and some stuff happened, not important. I'm not going to discuss all that, but it ended up to where, I snatched my keys out of her hand, and some of the things that she did, I called the police. And that's when I learned, if you have an at-home issue, don't ever call the police. But yeah, I snatched the keys, and the cops, they came and questioned me, and then they were trying to twist the story like I had done something else, and I said, okay, I'm done talking, I want a lawyer. And well, there's that. So yeah, I was arrested for snatching keys that were mine, but because we were married, they were hers as well. So that's how that works. But anyways, there's that. So yeah, I don't know. I'll see what happens. Definitely gonna be interesting. Gonna have to leave home. Gonna have to go through all kinds of changes. And
Maybe don't be a racist. And if you're gonna own it, fucking own it. Don't bitch and cry to your audience. You actually, you said something along the lines like, I didn't beat my wife. Verbatim, it said that you kicked her and pushed her. So whatever you talking about is bullshit. Here's the fucking police report.
Why are you out here making it seem like you just gracefully quit your job? Yes, guys, he lost his job. But here's the tea. In his little weak-ass explanation here, he tried to sit here and claim that, oh, yeah, the phone lines were ringing at my job. Oh, I just already knew. I knew I was going to lose it. So you know what? I quit before I even had the chance. Psych, nigga! You lost your job. The administrative manager terminated your ass. You lost your job. Now what you say? Swim, boy. Swim, boy. Boy, we are never going to let this up. We're going to make content out of you for days.
I have a nail appointment I gotta get to, but I just wanted to make this really quick because we found you. Carson Lane McCall. Age 34, born February 1992. I also found some very unsettling things about you and your ex-wife who filed for divorce. Found the judge as well. And I also see that you have the caucasity to bring your ass back on social media. So we found your new TikTok and you on Threads. Found a couple other things like your Cash App. We could keep going, but I'm going to make this video real short and sweet. There's a part 2 coming.
Now that Mr. Wellington has had his satisfying downfall, we can now move into the timelines. So, a National Park Service ranger discovers Nolan Wells' body along the shoreline of the Horn Island, and this ends the 2-day search involving the U.S. Coast Guard and the local authorities and his family. So, Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lynn now confirmed the body was Nolan. How did they do that? They used his dental records and informations that they garnered from the family. So now, after this, the state now conducted a medical autopsy, and the officials have sealed this autopsy, so it's not public, so no one really knows the cause of death. But Nolan's family also went to do a private autopsy report, And when Nolan's family did their private autopsy, the cause of the death was undetermined. Local law enforcement maintains that there is no immediate evidence of foul play, suggesting possible drowning, a statement Nolan's family strongly rejects, given his athletic background and swimming ability.
We just want to know. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
I have the honor and the privilege of helping to lead an independent investigation on behalf of the family of Nolan Wells. Why do you say we need to be retained to lead an independent investigation? It is because the family has distrust of the Mississippi law enforcement officials giving them a fair investigation where their black son ended up dead after going out on a boat with 3 young white men. The history of Mississippi is something that they don't just read about in books, but it's a lived experience for many Black Americans.
He was a special kid, but again, just heart was so big. And we're gonna miss him dearly. We just want to know. We want an honest, thorough investigation. That's all we're asking for. Just been going through the motions. You know, I'm a healthcare provider, so I talk about grief a lot. Now to be on the other side of this is, it's a lot. So I lost my mom a few years ago, and that was hard. This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different. It's insurmountable. And then it's like you get these flood of emotions all at different times, and grief is so multi-layered. You know, one second I might be okay and I can talk about things and I can listen to his stories, and then the next minute I am falling apart and I feel like I can't breathe and I feel like there is an elephant just sitting on my chest. But, you know, I know this is the process. I have a wonderful support system. I have my faith in God, which I've been leaning heavy into. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I see you, I love you, I'm thankful for all of you, and I'm so sorry that I hadn't been able to reply. I don't know exactly when again I'll post. For some reason, it does help. And I know if Nolan was here, he'd be like, Mom, you know, just keep talking to the people, keep telling my story, keep telling your story. So that is going to be my plan. Again, thank you all so much. I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
I forgot to mention, Nolan's mom is Christine Wonsley and Nolan's dad is Elmore Wonsley. Mr. and Mrs. Wonsley now have a legal representative. His name is Ben Crump. And you know, Ben Crump is a renowned civil rights attorney. So he's going to do justice to this case, right? And then we have former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who is also stepping forward to fund the independent autopsy that the family did. Currently, Nolan's funeral has been done with. It was successful. It was peaceful, and Nolan's friends were present as well. Nolan's parents appeared on interviews and stated firmly that they do not believe Nolan voluntarily stayed behind on the island whilst his friends left by boat. They call for state and federal oversight of the investigation.
Thank you all for being here today. It has been 27 days since we have been able to talk to our son, to hug him, to tell him we love him. This has been the most difficult time we have ever had. I want to tell you who Nolan was. Nolan was a God-fearing, God-loving child. He loved everyone. He was the person who would just make you feel comfortable just being in his face. He was never one to exclude. He always wanted everyone to be happy, to feel good, to have purpose. He would lift anyone up. It didn't even matter if he didn't know you. If you took that moment to just tell him a little bit about yourself, what you wanted to do with your life, right then and there, Nolan would be your biggest cheerleader. Today we are begging, because I'm not too proud to beg.
No, that's right.
We are begging, if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline, because we will not be able to rest until we get answers. But please understand,
that all of these distractions, these other questions that people, the attacks that people have sent our way, just know we will not be distracted. We are ready to do whatever we need to do as his parents to continue advocating for him, because Nolan is not here. He is not here to speak for himself. He is not here to tell us what happened. So again, we will not rest until we get answers. And if you know something, you need to let us know. Please do not be afraid. Okay? Thank you all so much again. We truly appreciate your love and support.
Now, investigative report releases GPS tracking data from the vessel that Nolan was on that they used to go to the Horn Island on 4th of July. And after they tracked the boat, they realized that the boat arrived on the Horn Island at 11:14 a.m. and the boat departed without Nolan at 4:31 p.m. So the boat also made multiple undisclosed stops in the Fort Bayou that evening, and it was eventually trailered to a private residence in Biloxi by 7:19 p.m. This triggers an intense public debate over why Nolan was left behind and also what could cause the multiple stops. So Nolan's funeral was held in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and civil rights leader Reverend Al Sharpton delivered a remark calling for transparency of the local law enforcement, that Nolan Wells' family know exactly what is going on, and everyone is expecting that by now there should have been an arrest. When Nolan Wells' family went to do their independent autopsy, and it came that the cause of death was undetermined and it was still pending investigation, there was something very interesting that popped up during their private autopsy. They realized that Nolan's autopsy had this unexplained red discoloration in the tissues at the back of Nolan's head, and also portions of his neck or throat tissues were retained by the state medical examiner during their initial autopsy. So note that this is for standard forensic procedure, right? Now, since the state already has this part of Nolan's body, it was hard for the private autopsician, I don't know if that's the word, private autopsician, to conclude that this and that is what caused Nolan's death. But you cannot still rule it out as a natural cause of death or drowning, right? So we are still waiting for the state to come out and say this or that is what happened to Nolan. Ben Crump explained the autopsy to the world. Let's watch this video.
The focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region, is significant because he cannot determine why you have that red discoloration in the back of his brain. That's significant. He also talked about, Mr. Williams, just the fact that as it's common practice, he was missing his throat when they received the body. And he wants to know why they held it back. He's not drawing any conclusions, but he said he would want to examine it if there were neck fractures or compressions to the neck. And he thinks that's significant to know at autopsy. The reason he said he would hold it back when he was medical examiner because he thought that there may have been some issues with neck fractures. The last thing that is significant is what we said before about him, the condition of his body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or unconscious? Was he forced or unforced into the water? He said those things are very significant. But he started off talking about this red discoloration in the back of his head is something that was of great concern.
Where's the throat? I know we have deep red markings on the occipital bone that's in the back of the... thank you. This is directly from the autopsy. We want you to see what the family has seen. Don't you think, Joe Scott Morgan, that the second medical examiner might need the throat to figure out what happened?
Let me tell you where the neck is. Or the organs of the neck, as it's referred to. These neck structures are actually being held by the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office, and they don't just arbitrarily hold things like this, Nancy. This is something that would commonly go with the body when the body is released. So I deduce the fact that they have seen something there that they're trying to hold on to from an evidentiary value. Remember, the state still has an ongoing investigation in this case, and they see evidentiary value in this. But the problem is that when you get into these structures in the neck, one of the things you're trying to assess is, was this a drowning? Also, is there any kind of trauma? If people will just put their hands right here in the midline of your neck, you'll feel that kind of cartilaginous body there. That's cartilage, right? That can be fractured. Need I remind you, Epstein, right? So you have to examine this. Also, here's our word, Nancy. They're talking about the hyoid is missing as well. So they don't have that.
Show
They
me Joe, Scott, Morgan, because you and I, hyoid, we know what it is because you and I have handled a ton of asphyxiation, ligature, manuals, strangulations, you name it. Hyoid, explain. So delicate.
Yes. Yeah, and it's very, very far up the neck, Nancy. And one of the things that happens is that with the hyoid, it's generally only traumatized as a result of direct pressure that's generally applied by a throttling event or a C-clamp like this, throttling meaning like this, so manual strangulation. And an outlier here is ligature strangulation, but primarily hands-on. So they're looking for little fractures in here all along the way. So that has to be dissected along with these other, there's a couple of other structures that you look at as well.
So this is something that is really interesting. There has been an arrest, but guess what? Of course, it's not anybody that was related to the Horn Island. It was none of the friends that were present at the Horn Island. Rather, 2 individuals across the U.S. are arrested and charged by federal prosecutors for sending bomb threats to Mississippi judicial offices and making deadly threats against key witnesses and individuals involving the case. So it was not the friends of Nolan, it was not anybody on the boat on the Horn Island as well, nor the lady in question. None of these people. It was rather people who threatened the judicial office of Mississippi. I want to reserve my comments. I want you guys to decide what you want to decide. So the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and the Mississippi Department of Public Safety continue their investigation as the case prepares for potential presentation before a grand jury. You know, there was a young boy that went on an interview saying he was Nolan Wells' best friend, and Nolan's parents came out to debunk his claims, saying that they do not know him or have ever set their eyes on him before.
Did y'all see what Nolan Wells' mom said about the Trayston boy from the ABC interview claiming to be his best friend? Listen to this.
So first of all, we don't know Trayston. We've never met him. So to say, best friend, childhood friend, that's a bit of a stretch. We've never met him. He's never been to our home. Now, if you were to say that about Jalen or Javon, I would say absolutely. You could say that those are childhood friends, those are best friends, because they've been to our home. We know their family. We're close to, their mother.
Officer Tatum interviewed one of Nolan's friends, and this interview led to a lot of speculations and a lot of inconsistencies. What Nolan's friend said before started not to match up in these interviews. Officer Tatum, who was the host in this interview, could not question Nolan's friends enough to bring out the truth on the table.
Nolan's mom is lying, Warren's lying, or Katie's lying, and I highly doubt it's Nolan's mom. Think about it. Katie told Christine Wonsley that she and Nolan had a very brief interaction while on Horn Island, a simple hi and bye. Warren is now saying that Katie and Nolan were cradling each other as he sailed off into the sunset to leave Horn Island.
Actually reached out to me the very next day, I think July 5th, and basically just made it seem like it was like a hey bye type of situation.
Everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island.
Furthermore, can anybody corroborate that Katie actually worked with investigators? And why do things always seem to get so shaky when Katie's involved?
Officer Tatum, are you telling me that they had reception on Horn Island? Because many people are saying, well, the reason that there's nothing on Nolan's phone of that day, like there's no pictures, there's no snaps, there's no text, there's no anything, not because it was deleted, but because he didn't have reception. But you're telling me the other boys did have snaps, photos, videos, and reception?
Yeah, no, Nancy, let me clarify this for you. It wasn't that they uploaded this online. They showed me videos and things that they took from the boat during the outing on 4th of July. I was personally out at Horn Island. I rode out there on a boat, and I didn't have great reception there. And I left my phone in the boat when I got into the water and we were actually going out to do interviews.
Objection. You've been in court long enough to know you're gonna get objections. You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great, and it wasn't great enough for people, in my opinion, to upload. You can make a phone call potentially, but you wasn't gonna upload data to a social media account. And I heard evidence of that. Not only did I see evidence of it when I went out there myself personally with my cell phone, when I listened to the CETO call, you could tell that the call dropped out several times. It seemed like they were having trouble at times hearing each other. So it is consistent. So the videos that they showed me in call logs were things that were not associated to social media, that they never posted on social media. It was pictures and videos that they took on their phone.
Nolan Wells' mom was on Don Lemon earlier today, and she revealed the great levels of evil that Officer Tatum rhetoric has brought to her life. The amount of harassment, the amount of racism, the amount of attacks that she's been getting due to the rhetoric of people like Officer Tatum and what they've been spewing about her and her family. This is unacceptable. Don Lemon actually asked Nolan Wells' mom what her thoughts were on Officer Tatum and his antics as of lately. And her response was perfect. She gave the perfect response to how everybody should respond to Officer Tatum.
And we can't move forward because we don't have answers.
So when you talk about all the things that have been spread, there is this officer, I hate mentioning his name, a former officer who is a far right wing, who's been doing the interviews and has been saying, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on Brandon Tatum. No.
I respect that, and that's the right answer for everybody, I believe. And I feel like, because I mentioned him, I'm like, why did I even mention him? Because he doesn't deserve a platform.
No, he does not.
Here's the thing, his name came up, she shut it down, she's not gonna talk about it whatsoever. Tatum still found a way to clout chase off this clip, right? He still found a way to clout chase a 1-minute live stream off this clip. And the reason why she's refusing to speak on Tatum or why she doesn't respect him and don't want to talk to him is because, his harmful rhetoric has brought a lot of chaos and torment to their life. See, because of those interviews that Tatum has been doing and those live streams he's been doing, calling his family race hustlers, claiming they're doing this for money, claiming, they have no proof that anything bad happened, that they're just lying on the family. He's really been spewing some really dangerous rhetoric about this family. This is just a grieving mother who's trying to get justice for her son.
The DA had called and I missed the call, and by the time I saw it, it was too late, and I wasn't going to call her at 9 o'clock because I've had to change the settings on my phones because of the harassing phone calls I've been getting.
Amen. Now, can we talk about the other stuff? You went there, so I feel like I can go there because I've been bothered by it. We've been reporting on it. It's disgusting. I'm going to start with one thing, and then I'll talk about the harassment of you, especially as a mother and then as a medical professional, and I know you take your profession very seriously when you said, I love everybody. Black, white, red, green, it does not matter. So do not get that wrong. And you've always had really good reviews. Yesterday, with not only speaking up for your son, but for others as well who have been involved in mysterious deaths. That was a very emotional moment for you, and the vulnerability I saw there. What do you want to say to folks who are, your wife is getting, threats, she's being harassed, those families have been treated like they're a nuisance by police departments, according to the reporting. What do you want to say to America about this?
Like my wife said, just from a parent standpoint, we just want to know what happened. We want a fair and thorough investigation, just like the other families, because we hurt just like them.
You can see tears in that grown man's eyes as he's talking about what's going on with his family, what's going on with his wife being harassed and them being harassed. And a bulk of the harassment is coming from the interviews and the rhetoric that Tatum is putting out there in his live streams and his...
So as the investigation began, there was a lot of contradictions emerging between witness accounts. For example, friends who accompanied Nolan claimed he willingly chose to stay on the island with a young girl while they rushed back to their boat because their boat had technical issues, right? However, like other people or witnesses over there who saw Nolan said that Nolan returned to his friends on the vessel, including the lady that Nolan was talking to. She said emphatically Nolan told her he was going back to his friends on the boat. Furthermore, an audio recording from an emergency phone call made during the trip to the timeline. Take a listen to this audio.
Leo in the Nolan Wells case has been cleaned up by the brilliant Janetta Brantley, and I want to know who Bart is. Listen to this audio.
Read my transcription if you want to reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear. I want you to listen first, listen again, compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Bourne, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up!
You can hear a few things very clearly, whether you have the transcript or not. Some oh my gods and somebody yelling at Bart. Basically, what did you do, Bart? And Bart Edmiston is the person who they're yelling at. He is playing for the University of Wyoming currently, their football team, and he is from that same area as Nolan Wells. He was interviewed by the cops. He was part of that whole friend group, although there was some denial that he was even there to begin with, but it was proven that he was based on other accounts. This is continuing to get thicker and thicker, and we are getting closer to justice for Nolan Wells. People in that audio know what happened. Whether they're responsible or not, they are now part of a cover-up. If something happened to Nolan Wells and they were aware of it, that young man is dead, and these people know so much more than they are letting on. It is time for them to talk.
Hopefully they talk, because Nolan Wells' mom has been receiving a lot of harassment online, and they took the harassment to her job. In her entire career, she has never received any negative review or complaint. But right after she started pushing that she needed answers for her child, suddenly people are starting to attack her job.
So it wasn't good enough to just leave negative reviews. Now, because of some of these reviews, Christine Wonsley is under investigation. So this is a statement from Ben Crump, but in essence, she is now under investigation by the nursing board because these crazy ass, evil ass people are sending in fake reviews against her. This is a woman who's never had bad reviews. She's been an excellent care provider, but because they're mad that she wants to know what happened to her child, these racist white folks are out here sending in bad reviews, and now she is being investigated by the nursing board and could lose her license based on this. And this is why we will say we don't trust y'all, and evil is in the DNA, because this woman lost her child and y'all are mad at her and want her to lose her job too because she wants to know what happened to her child. Make it make sense. If Nolan was white and she was a white nurse practitioner, none of this would be happening. And it feels like this is attempts to try to get her to back down. But what y'all fail to realize, because see, y'all live in that little small ass town and y'all think your little town is all this and all that, and y'all think y'all big tough, and what y'all don't understand is that Black people have been dealing with adversity since America was founded. We've been dealing with this. We are built to deal with this stuff. So when you do stuff like this, it won't make them cower away. You're going to make her work and push harder. That's all you're going to do. So if this is an intimidation tactic or a way to try to get her to stop asking questions, Black people, we're not built like that. You do stuff like this, we're going to push harder. We are built on dealing with adversity. That's why we've been dealing with it since the beginning of time, and we still standing. And y'all hate that. And that's why you do what you do, because you hate the fact that we are such a strong group of people. No matter what you try, you can't bring us down. And this won't bring her down. And the nursing board, y'all need to file this shit away immediately and end this, because you know good and damn well what this is about. Y'all are playing a game with this investigation. Cut this shit out.
This is the highest level of evil to me. But the good thing is that this investigation did not go anywhere. It was thrown out of the window where it's supposed to be. So thank God Nolan Wells' mom's career is saved. But it's not only Nolan Wells' mom that has been getting all this harassment. Prosecutors and police also receive a lot of bomb threats. People are so pissed about this incident, and they threaten to go and bomb the hell out of the court offices in Mississippi, issuing deadly threats to key witnesses in this case. So this triggered the officials to do something. And it's sad that a tragedy that happened on a remote island had expanded into a nationwide legal and social crisis. People are crying out loud for justice for Nolan, because there has been similar incidents that has happened in the past that no arrest was made. So people are scared that similar thing is going to happen. People are scared that this pattern is going to continue and all of that. We are hoping for the best for this case. We are hoping that the system is going to listen to the public cries and give justice. You know, it's interesting to me that when there was bomb threats to the Mississippi court, immediately there was an arrest. But till now, no arrest has been made. At least like arrest, interrogate, and give bail or something. Nobody has been arrested. Not Nolan's friends, nor the girl that Nolan was talking to. Like the girl is saying Nolan said he was going to boat. The friends is like, oh, we left him with the lady. So these two people have to be spoken to know what happened in between the gap of Nolan talking to this girl and getting back on the boat, right? So now everybody and their mama is asking one question: what happened to Nolan Wells on the Horn Island? What truly happened on the 4th of July between the final hours of Nolan Wells? Because while law enforcement and authorities prepare their evidence for a grand jury, we all don't know what they are going to present, whether it's the truth or the lie. The good thing is Nolan Wells' parents continue to stand resolute in their pursuit of justice. Because for a family in mourning, the fight is not about internet rumors or public speculations, It's about uncovering the truth for an 18-year-old boy whose voice was taken far too soon. And until justice is served and an arrest is made, the public will continue to speak on this situation. I ask you to answer me this question in the comments. What do you think would have happened if Nolan was a white boy? If Nolan went on that Horn Island, if Nolan was white and his friends were black, what do you think would have happened? Let me know in the comments. That's the end of the video today. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Also, watch how Chrisean Rock accidentally confessed to murder. Click the link on the screen and I'll see you there.